Okay, so game 2 of this double header today, Australia versus England at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad, and it's the battle of the traditional rivals. Ashes hangover may not be there, but World Cup stakes are definitely high for both of them because Australia versus England have won the toss and have chosen to bowl on a tacky wicket. That is what Joss Butler had said. That's a tacky wicket. No changes for England, but Australia have unfortunately had to make 2 forced changes because Mitchell Marsh gone back home due to personal reasons. We don't know whether he'll be available for the remainder of the World Cup. Glenn Maxwell, maybe he could be available for the game against Bangladesh or against Afghanistan. It remains to be seen. But there are huge qualification stakes up for grabs.
Exactly. I mean, if you're Australia, you know you've got 3 games left. You have your destiny in your own hands. And you want to actually be able to get a win against an England side who, truth be told, are very down and out. So, good chance there, but we've often seen it in the past. We've seen, especially so in the IPL, where during a long league stage, teams who are lower down can sometimes just come back to bite you because it's a case of like, hum doob rahe to tumhe bhi dubayenge.
Yes.
And England, you know, are going to be charged up for a game like this. That being said, I would think that Australia starts slight favourites, but it'll really depend on what the pitch plays like. Because again, if, as Joss Butler said, tacky pitch, you might be wanting to know what it is you're chasing. And for Australia, rather unfortunately, they've had 2 changes that, truth be told, they had no control over whatsoever. Marsh with personal reasons and Glenn Maxwell with yet another freak accident.
Freak accidents and Glenn Maxwell.
I know. It's a match made in hell.
Exactly. So, that is the current situation. But over in Bengaluru, New Zealand are putting on a brilliant show. And Rachin Ravindra, yet again, remember this name. I think he has got a very bright future. He's done it well in his home ground, by the way, ancestral home ground, because part of his family is in Bengaluru. So, Rachin Ravindra has hit a century. Williamson, form? Injury rustiness? Nah. Classy 95.
So unfortunate for him that he had to go for the big shot, look to get to his 195 out, but a very good knock regardless. And I think at this point, New Zealand would be disappointed if they don't get to anything close to 285 in the 39th
385
over.
you mean.
Yeah, you mean you have to get to 385.
380, yeah.
You have to be getting to around 380 times, bat Pakistan out of the game, put that scoreboard pressure on them from ball 1. And you know that's the best way to add the pressure because again, Bangalore, that kind of a track, very much a road. It's very small boundaries. It tends to favor batting.
And I was very surprised with the choice. And remember, what's the time now? It is 1:40.
Yeah.
3 hours and 10 minutes. Pakistan still are 11.3 overs. They have to bowl still. Which means you're seeing an innings that's at 2:30. You're taken 4 hours to bowl your 50 overs. Why? 4 pacers on this deck. Are you kidding me? Babar Azam had stated that there are 4 pacers because we want to exploit the early moisture. What moisture? The sun is out, it's gone. Haris, Shaheen, Mohammad Wasim Jr. and Hassan Ali.
I didn't understand the need to play 4 pacers because generally speaking,
this isn't Perth, by the way. This is Chinnaswamy.
It's the Chinnaswamy. You get good true bounce. You don't get hit the deck kind of bounce. More often than not, it's so true that batters will hit through the line knowing full well that there are smaller boundaries and you can just more often than not go for your shots. I didn't understand it. Tactically, they've gone with just 1 spinner.
1 spinner. 2. I mean, Agha Salman also can bowl.
I mean, if you're counting Agha Salman and Iftikhar of all people, that's their spinners.
Yes.
There's no Shadab, no Nawaz. And Shadab, okay, chalo fine. He's been having concussion. But Usama Mir, someone... I mean, you have seen in the past that wrist spinners tend to do well at the Chinnaswamy for a very simple reason. Attacking bowlers. You tempt the batters. Yes, you'll get hit for a few, but you will get wickets. And what has been the biggest problem here? They've been unable to really get wickets. Most of the wickets have come thanks to the New Zealand batters being aggressive. If you had a wrist spinner, could have exploited that more.
But on the other end of the spectrum, New Zealand have 4 spinners. Rachin Ravindra, then you've got Ish Sodhi, finally Ish Sodhi, Mitchell Santner, and then you have Glenn Phillips. 4 spinners and only 2 pacers, Southee and Bolt.
So either one of the teams, and this is the thing, after this game, you're going to be lauding either one of those teams as being particularly genius and the other as being particularly foolish. You don't know which is which. I am very tempted to say it's New Zealand at this point.
Kane Williamson.
Exactly.
Come on, he's a genius.
I'm again my mind goes back towards the Nagpur 2016.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes back to that where again flummoxed everyone, dropped Bolt dropped Saudi, brought in spinners, and people were like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So that turned out to be an
And he said the pitch could break a little later. So it's a day game with the sun shining out bright, and I think the rain threat has eased off in Bangalore.
Yeah, I don't think there seems to be much of a rain threat, thankfully.
Yeah.
But we'll all be waiting and hoping that, this innings plus 20 overs of the next are done. So it means at least you have a match.
So this is at stake here. Simple equation. If England lose today and New Zealand beat Pakistan, both teams are out.
Yeah.
They cannot make it to the semi-finals unless Pakistan 99.9% they 0.1 they still have a chance. How?
Australia
If lose all their games, but by massive margins.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not happening against Bangladesh or Afghanistan. Let's be very practical about it.
You can expect them to maybe lose against England, write it off, and even that's a big if considering England's woeful form. But Bangladesh, Afghanistan, you'd expect them to win at least one of those games. And that's again me being very generous. Realistically, you'd expect them to win both those games comfortably.
So if Australia win, New Zealand win, Pakistan, England are out.
Exactly.
So that is why.
So we'll just quickly go over the playing 11s once again. We've got Australia's here, and as we mentioned, couple of forced changes. So you've got David Warner, Travis Head at the top of the order, Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne at 3-4. Then you've got Josh Inglis, the wicketkeeper bat, who's actually been probably one of the more underrated players. Cam Green, Mitch Stoinis, the two enforced changes really because as we said, Maxwell's injury, Marsh flown back home for personal reasons. Then you've got skipper Pat Cummins, Mitch Stark, Josh Hazelwood and Adam Zampa. That is, by the way, a lot of bowling options when you look at it because you have three pacers anyway and you have two further pace options in Green and Stoinis with his dibbly-dobblies and Adam Zampa. The big miss, of course, in this sense is had there being no Maxwell because they don't have a second spin option. Are you going to turn to Steve Smith to bowl his leg breaks? I doubt.
Or maybe you might ask Travis Head to bowl.
Oh yes, they have Head, I forget. Yes, Head will probably be that one who will roll his fingers over, bowl some of his off spin. That's probably the only other option they have. If we go over the England team, we did mention they're unchanged. So you've got Johnny Bairstow and David Malan at the top of the order, Joe Root and Ben Stokes in the middle, Josh Butler coming in as favoured number 5 in ODIs, then Liam Livingstone, Moeen Ali, Chris Wokes and David Willey. That is a deep batting lineup, but I think that's been to their detriment in this particular edition. Then rounding up the pure bowlers, you've got Adil Rashid and Mark Wood. Unchanged 11 from England. I think if you ask me, this is probably one of their stronger 11s because it's given them variety in bowling. I mean, if you look at spin options, they've got 3. Yeah. And 3 proper spin options.
Rashid, Moeen,
Liam Livingstone. Actually, you've got even Joe Root.
4.
So who can roll his arm over. As far as pacers, Wood, Willie's probably been one of their better bowlers. Probably one of the few players to emerge from this disastrous World Cup with any credit in the bank. And ironically, he's retiring after the World Cup.
Wokes had a good outing against India.
Yeah, he finally showed what he can do. Throughout the World Cup, he's been missing.
He's been hit and miss. And Ben Stokes, 2 major updates from the England camp. David Willey is retiring after the end of the ODI World Cup. Ben Stokes is set to undergo surgery, which will keep him out for 5 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, so it's very touch and go really when you look at Ben Stokes playing in India, but he said that he's hopeful that he will in fact be fit for that. So knee surgery, get back into match fitness, be in India in the middle of January to lead the team in what should be a key series, and more importantly for him and England, be able to contribute with both bat ball. He hasn't bowled an over, if I'm not wrong, since July. My goodness. He halfway through the Ashes, he pretty much became a specialist batter. Thereafter, he's been playing, even in this ODI World Cup, he's been playing purely as a specialist batter. So I think actually not having him with the ball has also given them or deprived them of one option.
Like how India had with Hardik Pandya in 2021.
Correct.
Could only bat but couldn't bowl.
And it was a problem.
Big problem.
Because even Hardik's form, remember, was very hit or miss in that World Cup. If you're an all-rounder, if you're someone who's used to being able to contribute both with bat and ball, and then suddenly you're just doing one role, it can be a little tough.
Exactly. So England, Australia, remember the rivalry stacked 6-3 in favour of Australia.
In the World Cup.
But remember, the last World Cup encounter that they had, England absolutely decimated them.
It was the semi-final.
2019. I'm not counting the T20s or any other kind of situation. T20 World Cup, that game got abandoned in Melbourne. But after that, the 3 ODI series that they played, Australia actually whitewashed them 3-0. So it remains to be seen that whether England can bounce back. Remember, high stakes yet again. England, unbelievably, are still in with a very minuscule chance.
I think, though, realistically, they're probably looking more to get into the top 8 somehow and ensure that they don't miss out on the Champions Trophy next year.
Yes. So over in 40 overs they have crossed 300, 307 for
Actually,
three.
at this point,
400.
Yeah, 400 is not out of the realm of possibility. They do have the batting. So that's, if you're looking at how this match is going to play, yes, we know not that much in terms of stakes. This could have been potentially if England and Australia didn't have mixed runs. And I know Australia is still in with contention, but England have been so woeful. This could have potentially been a match that could be deciding who was on the top of the table.
Okay, if you look at the Sena countries, if you look at it, England woeful from the very beginning and it's continued.
Yeah.
Australia woeful from the beginning but has picked up.
Exactly.
New Zealand excellent in the beginning but have tapered off.
And now finally seem to be getting some form back.
South Africa have bucked the trend and have been consistent throughout.
Yeah, I mean, if you
except against Netherlands.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's their one match, that anomaly. I dare say that choke has already come. This was their choke. This was that one result which normally comes in a crucial game or knockout. Came before. It might just be to their detriment. It might just be to their advantage. And don't forget, even if they lose to India, that's still very much a write-off game. No harm in losing to the host and one of the favourites.
If India wins tomorrow, top spot is all but sealed.
Yeah, because then they
Because if you lose, I think their net run rate will also take a dip, South Africa.
Yeah.
And India's net run rate will be slightly higher.
Correct.
So that's why, and I don't see India losing to the Netherlands.
Exactly.
I mean, let's be very practical.
Let's be practical here.
So the biggest news that is there today for the Indian cricket team is that Hardik Pandya is out.
Massive blow, really.
Yeah, but I think India have coped up well with him. So
Without him,
yeah.
But you still wanted him. I mean, he's very irreplaceable in this team. Again, it's very telling that to accommodate his absence, you have to make two changes.
I know. That's what Hardik Pandya gives you, two players rule. That is the key of him. But then I think now you're sticking with the same 11.
Yeah, I think you are. Now you're not making any changes.
Until the semi-final.
Exactly.
Whenever you play on the 15th or 16th. But looks like it won't happen on the 16th because Pakistan, if they can chase down any total that New Zealand posts, then Vakei it is Kudrat ka nizam.
It'll be Kudrat ka nizam. They can chase down anything in excess of 350, 380. Which, by the way, is a bare minimum as to what New Zealand are heading for right now. My money still says 400 with 10 overs, 90 runs. Very doable.
Exactly.
Very doable.
So, predictions for this game. What
let's see. Let's see. I think Australia will get to about 280. But I'm not so sure about Butler's theory that it will ease out. I think it will get tougher. So I think Australia actually will win this.
Well, looking at it, I think England kind of raised their A game against Australia. So 270. But I think somehow, because it's Australia, England will raise it, they'll win today.
Very interesting.
I think England could win. And Australia will then go through their next two games against Bangladesh and Afghanistan unfettered. But yeah, I think England
Afghanistan is the toughie. Because again, you have to remember, normally Afghanistan, if they're playing for nothing, then it's not a problematic game. But somehow, some way, Afghanistan are actually, as I say, they have their fate in their own hands.
Yep.
So actually, even if they get to 10 with they could very well be in with a shout at the very least.
Yeah,
so
if they beat Australia,
man, oh man,
then it will be 10. Australia will then have to beat Bangladesh and South Africa will have to beat Afghanistan.
Exactly. So lots of permutation combinations. Massively beautiful double-header day today. This is two very good matches, both of which have very direct implications on the race to the semis. We've given our predictions. We'll join you now in a bit because I think the innings is not that far away really from finishing. But thank you so much for joining us. Please don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tap the bell, leave us a comment. We love hearing from you. Follow us across socials. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Download the SportsTech app and check out their website as well. And since you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out a few other videos we've done. So much has been happening since the morning. And stay tuned to Sports Today. Plenty more coming your way.
Coming, including the India PC at 5:30
Absolutely. Today. And so right now from Siddharth and me, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.